Australia's Chief of Defence, General David Hurley, has hailed Exercise Talisman Saber a success as it enters its final week. The statewide operation went mostly to plan, despite some setbacks.
Commissioned in 1971, the USS Blue Ridge serves as a communications vessel for the entire US 7th Fleet. It's also home for more than 1,000 serving Navy seamen, and today it was the centrepiece for the end of Talisman Saber.
But I think it just shows the length and time of involvement and really the intensity of involvement between the US forces in the Pacific and the Australian Defence Force.
More than 28,000 troops from US and Australian forces conducted live and practice military exercises across central and north Queensland over the past few weeks. Held every 2 years, it's been a vital training ground over the past 4 decades for both forces.
It shows the value of this alliance, it shows our interoperability, and I think it demonstrates to the people of this region how two allies who are committed to each other are able to work together for the common good.
Still, both leaders say more can be done to prevent incidents for 2015, like the unplanned bombing of the Great Barrier Reef.
After action review today, of course, there are issues to address, but on the whole, been a very successful outcome.
Talisman Saber officially wraps up on August 5th, when the USS Blue Ridge will return to its station post in Japan. Matthew Howard, WIN News.
Meanwhile, the make-believe battles in Exercise Talisman Saber are drawing to a close. US and Australian troops are making their way south through the training area as they work to restore stability to a fictitious country.
It's a camp for the dead and wounded. Scores of soldiers are brought here when struck down in the war game.
Last night we had 190 people show up in the space of 2 hours, and that became interesting, and then other days we have no one.
The base is monitored by Captain Farr and his team. Their job is to process the soldiers to eventually let them back out onto the field.
We get, generally speaking, up to 30 or 40 guys rock up at one time, and then we process them through, so as if we were processing from military affairs onto back out into the field.
The troops are held for 24 hours. These reservists were shot by the enemy.
Judge came over, said you and you. This is what's happening, you're going to be held for 24 hours.
I disagree with the umpires completely. However, they came up to us at random and sort of gave us a casualty card and told us, you know, you're injured with this particular injury, and we'd move off to a medical location.
A lot of the soldiers participating in the exercise are in the Army Reserves. Many are keen to better their skills.
For a reservist from such a small little unit in Brisbane, it's fantastic to actually come out and operate in a role with the Great Army and other armies.
Live firing exercises will begin this week as the free play wraps up. Ellie, Sibson, WIN News.